Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Sinead, for having me here to sing a few words here. This is 2021, and 100 years since the founding of Chinese Communist Party. For Hong Kongers, it is undoubtedly our humiliation day. 24 years ago, the handover of sovereignty in 1997 was the beginning of China's suppression of Hong Kong, regardless of the desire of Hong Kong people. And in 2020, a dangerous and ridiculous so-called national security law was introduced in Hong Kong. Once again, no Hong Kong people was asked before that. And after these two critical days, Hong Kong has deteriorated from being known as the birth of Orient to a city of pain and fear. You may have heard that the CCP recent repression in Hong Kong, the city has been swallowed by police brutality, mass arrests, selective law enforcement, abuse of procedure, and appalling sentence. So-called rule of law that claimed by the evil regime. What is the rule of law so far in Hong Kong right now? 55 pro-democracy activists were charged with subversion simply because they participate in a primary election. This is so-called rule of law in Hong Kong. Liberate Hong Kong, revolution of our time was once the slogan that created by four of us for our election campaign. But now it is a banner chain in Hong Kong. This is so-called rule of law in Hong Kong. Apple Daily, a pro-democracy newspaper, also a listed company in Hong Kong, was forced to shut down 3 weeks ago. More than 10,000 protesters have been arrested since 2019, but the man who attacked Epoch Times reporter Sarah Leung in Hong Kong is still free and unidentified in Hong Kong, and this is rule of law in Hong Kong. After countable rounds of mass arrests, most Hong Kong activists are either now in jail or in exile. In addition to silencing well-known activists, the truth behind the scenes is even more frustrating. Every day, when we wake up, the first message on our screen is usually who of our friends being arrested, and other friends being sentenced to jail, or another court case has been appealed by the regime because the regime simply wants the heaviest punishment. The Chinese Communist Party just want to wipe out an entire generation of Hong Kong. Take myself as an example. I was charged in the National Assembly and was jailed for a month for such a ridiculous crime. And when I was released, I noticed that some people was always following me. We don't know who they are, but usually that is a bad sign because you are on the regime's radars again and nothing good follows. That's Hong Kong right now, a city of white terror under the evil CCP regime. And now I'm on the wanted list again, subversion, because I'm doing a focus work here in Washington, D.C. And I must reiterate here that China's expansionist and coercive behavior are not only a problem for Hong Kong, not just for Asia, but also a threat to international order and democracy around the world. From the denial of responsibility for spreading the CCP virus, to the Uyghurs' genocide, to supporting the massacre by the Myanmar military. They all show that the leading role of the United States in dealing with the China problem has never been more important. And I want to quote my good friend Sam Chung to conclude my opening. Sam is the father of a baby yet to be born, and is now in jail, facing a maximum lifelong prison sentencing, simply because he participated in the primary election. He said that, "Let Hong Kong believe become your faith." Hong Kong is a place where all kinds of religions exist. I am a Catholic. I have friends who are Christian, Muslim, Falun Gong. At the end of the day, we may differ in the religion that we commit ourselves to, but a fundamental belief that exists in all of our heart is that Hong Kong should be a city where we can have the freedom to practice any and all faith without fear. And for this, we should fight till the end. Thank you so much.